All right, y'all, we're back from holiday. We went back to the Expedia site to try to figure out where the mistake was made and why we ended up on this trip. So it's really difficult to kind of explain, but when you book this trip as a package with the flight, hotel, and Catermaran trip included, everything, the details aren't all visible until you click into the actual Catermaran trip, and then you can see all the nitty-gritty details, but they do leave out the fact that you still have to drive 3 hours to get to the actual dock. Now, when you look at just the Catermaran trip, you can see everything that you need, but if you have everything in this totality and you're about to check out, it doesn't show you all the information that you need, right? Yeah. Is that how I explain it? Okay. Now you can see the rest of the video. Hopefully this gives you some context onto what went wrong on this trip. And I hope it helps y'all out if y'all are booking this same package. Good morning and welcome back YouTube world. We are KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE the Y. Like, subscribe, comment. Today's vlog was not really going to be a vlog, but we figured it should be a vlog so we can save y'all time and money in Jamaica, which is where we are right now. Coming up next. Long story short, we went on a Catermaran trip yesterday. If you expect a booze cruise, then go on this Catermaran trip. If you expect snorkeling, don't go on this trip. And now my wife shall explain why.
So we booked this Catermaran cruise, right? Just to make long story short, to go snorkeling. It's supposed to be 4-hour trip. I figured, okay, we're gonna snorkel at least for, I don't know, at least hour and a half, right? Because usually they have to take you out, bring you back, this, that, the other. So we get, first of all, the morning starts at
start with that.
6 a.m. because they had to pick us up at 7. They picked us up 20 minutes earlier, and luckily we were downstairs.
Yep.
So we get on the bus and we go all the way around from Mobay out
to Ocho Rios. Was the destination, but however come we had to stop multiple times on the way there.
So 3 hours later,
3 hours
on the bus, we get there, we get on this Catermaran. It is packed
to the gills,
packed to the point you literally like sardines in a can.
Yes. Now let me wind it back for you a little bit. So when we got on the bus, he said we had multiple stops and it was going to be a full bus. We thought maybe 20 people. When we got to the Ocho Rios Sandals and we bent around the corner and saw the Catermaran,
boat already was packed.
There was at least, what'd you say, 100 people?
Yes, it was definitely at least 100 people, and then plus us.
Yes. So we got on there and there was nowhere to sit.
Yeah, that was fun. So as soon as we get on there, they turn the music up to
11.
Yeah, let's bust your eardrums type of volume.
Well, we were on the boat, full of people, like the Titanic, but not quite. And some loud ass music. Not really what we were expecting.
No, we wanted to hear like the nature looking. I want to hear the ocean, not the coast.
Yeah, but we'll make the best of it, I hope.
That's what it is.
Inshallah.
So anyway, we sail. We get to the spot, which was pretty quick to get to the reef. We're like all excited. All right, cool. Let's go snorkeling. We get on the water. We go to the reef, and the guy goes, "Okay, time to go back." And we turned around and came right back. It was maybe 25, tops 30 minutes, if that we were in the water to snorkel.
We saw a lionfish and a flounder,
and a
stingray.
And that was it. They didn't give us any time to really explore. It was like, okay, kids, get here and get back. So
now let me just pause right here real quick, because literally when they told us, all right, time to go back to the boat, I thought they were joking, because I was like, well, we just got in the water. Like I just got my sea legs, and I'm like, you know, getting in the groove and like diving around and looking at little animals, and they said it was time to get back on the boat.
Yeah, it was so fast because it took most of the people at least 7 minutes to even swim to the reef.
Yeah.
Depending on your swimming ability, right? Yeah, it was, I was like, oh, okay. Maybe we go to another spot to snorkel, right? No, we get on the boat and they take us to Dunn's River.
Yes, which was not part of our plans from what we thought we booked.
Yeah, because when I was booking it on Expedia, it said Catamaran cruise for snorkeling trip. They didn't say nothing about Dunn's River, like
Dunn's
climbing
River,
or whatever.
didn't say nothing about going to Ochi. Didn't say nothing about snorkeling and going to Dunn's River with 100 of your closest friends. None of this stuff was
No.
included in the disclaimer.
And then mind you, this entire time this boat is blasting music, and I felt like to the point that seriously, like I needed to have like the earplugs because I got so tired. I'm like, I came to relax and
there was no
enjoy the
food.
weather. They were giving out snacks, they said, but there was cookies that was constantly keep running out. There was no really like proper snacks.
No.
Anyway, we get to this river thing, and that took like, they said, oh, it's 45 minutes, so we're back on the boat. No, that took like almost 2 hours.
Yeah, we were at Dunn's River for almost 2 hours, and we had already done it before, so we didn't want to do it again. And it was cold, so the weather wasn't really, in my personal opinion, Dunn's River ready.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to go in that cold mountain water, so we waited on the beach. And they said we were going to do a, what do they call it? The beach walk. Well, the beach walk consisted of us pretty much finding our own way on the beach, which if you've ever been to that little area where Dunn's River let out,
It's not much.
not much to really see or do. And our guide, so to speak, wasn't really doing much guiding, so there was also that. But we were extremely hungry at this point. So we got back on the boat. It took them a while to load everybody up and separate all the catamarans and stuff like that. We get back on the boat. They finally decided to give us food. There was a massive line. Now, mind you, you're on the boat with 100 of your closest friends, so there's a massive queue to get the food, which, you know, was neither here or there. But and then the food was just like mediocre finger food.
That was
if you
not
will.
like a lunch. They said they're gonna serve lunch. That was no lunch. That was snacks right there.
It was straight up snacks.
Yeah, so you know, and then it took us what, another, I don't know, almost an hour to get back to the shore, maybe a little less.
Yeah.
And
And at this point, we left at 7 a.m. No breakfast. Had a very mediocre lunch, and now we get back to the shore.
almost 3.
Almost 3. We finally to get the boat loaded up, and we have a guess how many hours ride back to the hotel. 3 hours back to the hotel.
And the boat was late, so we came back instead of 2. We came back almost at 3, as Reza just said. Plus a 3-hour drive. Plus the driver just had some errands that he
random
had to
errands
do
he had to run. And
with all of us on the bus.
And I thought he was joking initially when he told us what he had to go do. He was like, yeah, I got to go pick this person up, and I got to go do this, and I got to do that. And we was like, and I was like, ha, ha, ha. I was like, whatever, it's Saturday. You ain't picking up nobody extra. Like, whatever. I didn't believe him until this person of interest actually got on the bus with us. And I was like, this person did not just pick up their blah, blah, blah on our time and had us waiting. So that also happened. And so, yeah.
Yeah, needless to say, people were pissed because there's people who had reservations, people who had kids waiting, you know what I mean? And nobody ever expected
And
to
he
be
had the
gone
nerve.
the entire day.
He had the nerve to be like, why is everybody so vexed? It was like, psh, what? So anyway.
By the time we got back, I was so over it. I said, had I known that it's going to take over 6 hours of driving to do a 30-minute snorkeling trip.
If it
and
was
I
even
had,
30 minutes.
Yes, and I had to endure 4 hours of a heavy club music, I would have never booked it.
Yeah.
Because that was a waste of our day. Maybe if that's your cup of tea, that's cool, you know what I mean? But we just over the clubbing and all this stuff. All we wanted to relax, come to
Snorkel.
decompress. That was not a decompression trip.
Not at all.
That was the whole point of us, to leave the kids behind for a weekend so we can just
Do
have,
old people stuff.
yeah, like relax and enjoy the weather without running and hopping and doing a whole bunch of activities that kids would want to do. And that was complete opposite. So if you're looking for a party boat, that is your trip.
Yes, you would have enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
And let's to be clear and transparent, 99% of the people on the boat enjoyed it because I guess they knew that they were getting on a booze cruise.
Or maybe they don't do it in the regular day-to-day life as much, but because our life's connected to entertainment business one way or the other, and we've been in it for a while, well, Reza have, and I'm kind of by default fall into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we've done it so many times that we look for different type of adventures when we actually
On holiday.
travel. Yes.
Yeah.
So club is never, ever, ever on our list.
Never on the radar.
And that why I think it would have been a great trip for someone who wanted to do it. And I have no problem with it, but they do need to put that in a disclaimer and details to say prepare to have
A booze cruise.
A booze cruise or
and
party
not
cruise.
really snorkeling.
Yeah, and then you know what I mean. So people understand what to expect. Because let's say I brought my kid on there, and I thought that was a snorkeling trip and a peaceful trip, and it was been blasting like this the entire time. You would have seen a completely different side of me.
You know what else I
so
thought
pissed.
about? I thought about what if you were a person that was a recovering alcoholic and you didn't know it was a booze cruise? That would have been even worse.
Yeah, I think this definitely needs to be disclosed ahead of time because, like I said, if we would have brought our kids, especially our smaller child, yeah, I would have been mad. Like, they would have heard me loud and clear what I think about it.
So I think we're going to try to put the link here or something like that so you know exactly which catamaran cruise we are talking about. Keep in mind the proximity of this cruise from your hotel and that it is a booze cruise and not a snorkeling cruise. And yeah, that's it. We are KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE with the Y, like, subscribe, comment, all that. And we hope that y'all find this video helpful because we wish we would have known what we were getting ourselves into and we were not prepared.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's not bad, it's just not our cup of tea, but there's no disclosure. That's all it is.
And I was wondering why in the world does he keep saying we need to get walking shoes?
That's why, because they planned this something that you weren't supposed to be doing on this trip anyway.
Yep. All right, y'all. Peace.
مشغول مركب مرسوط تريو قلبي جنكم مصروف المانداي لا 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 لا